Okay, time for another quick record thread answering video here. I found a thread here created by MrFartboy79, a record that changed your life. Well, that's a good idea. I got around 8,000 records in my collection, but if I have to decide that whether one of them changed my life, well, it's quite a simple choice, actually. I'm going to show. I may even have talked about this record before in this channel, but it's been very important to me, to my musical development. It helped me open up my eyes that there were other kinds of music than the ones that I've heard before. There were other cultures. It opened up interest for different cultures' music. So, which music? Which album am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Graceland, Paul Simon. Uh, this came out in 1986, and I was 11, 12, 11, 11 and a half years old. And of course, I was young, and I was very interested in music and very interested in records. Even back then, I've said sometimes that I knew how to operate turntable before I knew how to tie my own shoelaces, and there's some truth in that. But this record, I was already a Paul Simon fan, so I was quite intrigued by the idea of going to South Africa and making a record with African music and African musicians, because I didn't know anything about African music, so I only thought, well, expected it would be drums and drums and drums and nothing else, because, well, that was my 11-year-old view of African music back then. But this record was really a wow experience, and I listened to it almost on a daily basis for almost a year. I listened to it and I listened to it and I listened to it and I listened to it. I learned every little line in it, every little arrangement detail. I don't think I've ever listened to any other album that that much. Well, not before and not since. Not since. I haven't listened to this for some time now, and of course I don't listen to it as often nowadays. But many of the artists on this album, I've been able to find other records with them and found out more about them. And back in the 80s, it was quite hopeless to find any South African music on vinyl up in northern Sweden. But I've been able to find quite a bit since then. So, well, a record that changed my life. This one, it opened up my curiosity for different music from around the world. Paul Simon's Graceland.